Good morning, one and all. I am Dr. Balaji Singh. Today's class is Postmortem Artifacts. Before going to the subject proper, I want to introduce something about postmortem artifacts. The basic concept of the medico-legal autopsy is to detect the cause of death, manner of death, and time since death. But some of the features which is going to introduce over the body after death may cause confusion to the medico legal autopsy for giving such opinions. So, the features or changes are going to introduce in the body, maybe because of animals, maybe because of environment or decomposition or handling of the body. It may be during treatment by the surgeon or by handling by the undertakers and autopsy surgeons. These all the things which going to influence the condition of the body, condition of the wounds over the body, and natural process of decomposition. Hence, we have to get a good idea about what are the changes occurring by so many factors, by so many time intervals, which causing a misleading interpretation of observations over the dead body. Basing on this introduction, I'll go for. First of all, I want to express my courtesy to Dr. Sujit Kumar Samadar of SlideShare. Artifacts, by definition, we are going to cover these points in this class. Definition, what is the classification? Classification by time interval and causative agent. Description of the artifacts, medico-legal importance of the artifacts. If you are very unfortunate, you may get as a essay question, post-mortem artifacts. So be prepared for even for essay question. By literature, in Latin, art means skill, fact means something made. Artifacts, not real, but something artificial. By definition, it is a change or feature which was not present in the body before death, but caused or introduced in the body after death, leading to confusion about its nature and cause, resulting in misinterpretation of medico-legally significant findings. Postmortem artifacts classified according to the causative agent due to postmortem changes. Third party artifacts, the third party may be a treating surgeon, undertakers, animals, and autopsy surgeons or autopsy technician or transportation. Environmental factors, this is decomposition changes. Other artifacts, classification according time introduction of artifact during resuscitation. In resuscitation, a successful resuscitation may lead a fracture of lower ribs of the chest. We are exerting the pressure over the chest by our whole body. There is a chances of fracture of ribs and causing contusions over the heart in successful resuscitation. This may cause a significant resuscitation artifacts between death and autopsy. After death and before autopsy there may be so many changes by animals, by criminals, by environment. During post-mortem examination, because of lack of skill or care or poor handling of the body or poor dissection techniques, which may lead autopsy artifacts. I want to emphasize some more about resuscitation artifacts. At the end of the stage, we are going to give even intracardiac adrenaline injection. A last step would be to save the patient. In such case, there may be some contusions over the or some bleeding at the chest wall in front of the heart, or some may be bleeding or any hemorrhages in pericardial fluid. All this creates some confusion of any malpractice or assault. There are some of the causes of artifacts: agonal artifacts, resuscitation artifacts, embalming artifacts, exhumation artifacts due to handling of the body, artifacts related to the rigor mortis, artifacts related to the post-mortem lividity, that is hypostasis, artifacts of decomposition, third-party artifacts, animal activity, arthropods, insects, other entomology, toxicological artifacts. All this comes under various categories of causative agents of the artifacts. Whereas artifacts introduced between autopsy, death and autopsy. Post-mortem artifacts introduced during the opening of the skull cap, that is, we are cutting the skull cap. There may be extension of previously present skull fractures is possible. Artifacts introduced during examination of the meninges and brain, artifacts during dissection, artifacts during preservation of the viscera and sending of the viscera, and miscellaneous artifacts. Due to resuscitative already therapeutic, we are giving intracardiac injections, various intravenous procedures, or any cardioversions, or so many techniques we are using to save the patient at the end of the life. It's a mark of the cardioversion. It is indicating some contusion over the chest, confusion of assault. Doctor induced, we are introducing an endotracheal tube, may injure the respiratory tract, may get confusion with the asphyxial deaths or throttling. Carotid angiography, neck muscles are getting bruised, may get confusion with the pressure over neck. Antemortem surgeon's intervention on wounds may mislead autopsy findings. Is Kennedy phenomena that we'll discuss later. Between death and autopsy, agonal artifacts and neurogenic shock, all these factors. Common agonal artifacts is regurgitation and aspiration of stomach contents into the lungs. It causes some confusion of any drowning or any poisoning case, but it may be a natural phenomena of a natural death. Neurogenic shock or cardiac arrest before death may prevent any significant bleeding. The organs may be pale instead of congestion in some asphyxial deaths, is causing confusion. Aspiration, a antemortem phenomena, is a stomach contents aspirated and goes into the lower respiratory tract, may be mixed with the fluid and mucus and seen in choking and effects causing death. But in post-mortem agonal artifacts, post-mortem aspiration, post-mortem simply passage of fluids into the respiratory tract, it never reaches to the lower respiratory tract. That's why we can differentiate antemortem and post-mortem aspiration. Embalming artifacts. As trocar is introduced, usually we are not going to, very rarely we are going to conduct autopsy on embalmed bodies. Most of the times, embalming will be done only after medico-legal autopsy. Very rare or exceptional cases or some VIP cases or suspicious cases, then only any secondary opinion, then only the body may be subjected for medico-legal autopsy after embalming. In such case, there may be some confusion of what are the puncture wounds caused by the trocars or changes caused by the embalming fluid may get confused to the autopsy surgeon. Embalming, chemical treatment, fluid is altering the texture of the viscera. These trocar induced wounds are similar to the stab wounds. Embalming, fluid causing artifacts, and toxicological analysis also will be interfering with the embalming fluid. Coming to the exhumation, exhumation is a digging out of the body from the graveyard. In such case, the artifacts will be created by the environment, that is the soil or any decomposition changes. In such case, you have to rule out the toxicological analysis by analyzing the soil also, surrounding soil, and having a good knowledge about the decomposition. Fungus may be seen. Sometimes while digging out, the body may be get damaged. The post-mortem wounds should be ruled out from the ante-mortem wounds. Undertakers fractures. Undertakers means is handling the dead body. This special team is going to giving a train how to handle the dead body. We have to respect a person even after death. So we have to respect the dead body. We should not mishandle. So we have to carefully take caring of dead body so that we are avoiding the unwanted post-mortem wounds over dead body and avoiding confusion in ante-mortem wounds. Here it is, the undertaker's fracture is a disc rupture, of in between C6 and C7. This is because of disc rupture, the subluxation of the vertebrae at the level of lower cervical vertebrae because of excessive extension of the neck while handling the dead body. You are not taking care of the head, so it is falling back, so it is causing some disturbance in the lower cervical spine. This is called undertaker's fractures. 2 mark question. Artifacts due to handling of the cadavers, transportation, careless handling, or breaking of the rigor mortis, or dragging carelessly, causing post-mortem aberrations. Ante-mortem aberrations and post-mortem aberrations. We have to in a position to rule out. Before going that, I want to tell how many of you are attending a mutton shop, a flesh cutter. Have you seen? A flesh in the mutton shop is pale. Most of the flesh is devoid of blood or blood clots. While he is cutting, we are not getting any blood from the goat's meat because a post-mortem wounds are pale. Whereas if you are cutting a live body, you will get the fresh bloods. There is a chances of ante-mortem clot. The clot will fix the tissue, so it is not going to remove. The picture is very terrific if you are cutting a live person or live body. If you are cutting a dead body, the flesh is pale. Same way, but in contrast to the incised wounds, ante-mortem aberrations are dark and post-mortem aberrations are pale. There is no vital reaction here. Incised wounds also a dark and terrific with clots, and post-mortem incised wounds are pale. Ante-mortem. Vital reactions are seen here. Post-mortem abrasion is pale. No vital reaction, no healing, no scab formation, not even conversion of color. Whereas ante-mortem abrasions are showing a dark brown color after death. Ante-mortem clot and post-mortem clot. Even in some form of clot will form without fibrin after death. It is jelly-like, whereas ante-mortem clot is having a separate complex mechanism which forms a foam clot which seals the blood vessels. But whereas a post-mortem clot is just like jelly, easily removable, easily washable. That is the difference. Due to post-mortem changes, as the body is not cared under ice box or freezer, the body will go into natural decomposition or putrefaction changes as the time passes. The skin changes and discharges, post-mortem purge, blebs, marbling, hypostasis, rigor mortis, all these changes will create some confusion over in delivering the cause of death. PM changes and heat stiffening and cold stiffening, we have to differentiate from the rigor mortis. Gas stiffening should be differentiate from the rigor mortis. The rigor mortis of the upper limb, we have to differentiate from the cadaveric spasm. The putrefaction artifacts, discoloration and protrusion of the eyes, and post-mortem purge, fluids and bloating of the face, some animal activity also seen over the forehead. Decomposition artifacts, that is bloating of the dead body. Body is bloated out, distended with the gas, limbs are stiff and semi-flexed, the body face is discoloration. If you suddenly look at this picture, what you will think? Is it because of any acid burns? No, you should not get confused this picture with the acid burns. These changes are due to putrefaction, hypostasis, peeling of the epidermis, and discoloration of the skin here and there, dark purple in color. All these changes is mimics like acid burns. Hypostasis. Hypostasis not only seen over the body but also seen in internal organs like heart, lung, intestines and stomach, and hypostasis and causing some confusion just like the congestion. We have to rule out the hypostasis from congestion. The dependent part of the heart may cause confusion just like infarction, that is lack of oxygenation, death of the heart cells because of lack of oxygenation is called infarction. Lung, pneumonic or bronchopneumonic consolidation. A hypostasis of the intestines may mimic corrosion or strangulation of the intestines. Hypostasis of the stomach looks like poisoning congestion. Hypostasis of the nails sometimes get confusion with as cyanosis, or a front aspect of the neck or back aspect of the neck. A hypostasis over the neck will cause confusion with a strangulation or throttling. You can see the beautiful discoloration of hypostasis, a limited area. It is a contusion, but not the hypostasis. It is contusion, is just like you should not confusion with the hypostasis. The color of the hypostasis also vary. In refrigerated bank it is pink. In carbon monoxide poisoning it is cherry red. In hydrogen cyanide poisoning it is bright red. Whereas potassium chromate poisoning it is chocolate brown, and phosphorus poisoning the hypostasis color is dark brown tint. Coming to the marbling artifacts, this is not because of any acid attack, this is a post-mortem change. Hypostasis of the dependent part of the lungs. You should not get confused with the contusion of the lungs or any consolidation of the lungs. There is no pathology here, only post-mortem changes. This is the post-mortem changes. It's not a contusion. It's contact pallor and contusions. Coming to the differences between the artifact and misinterpretation and what is the remark in various conditions. Just go through it. Just go to the table. Decomposition artifacts. The skin became leathery. If you suddenly see, it mimics like a Burns case. Last time when I posted a similar photo in assignment, so many students has commented as a Burns case, but it is not a Burns case. This pure changes due to putrefaction, advanced stage of decomposition causing blackish discoloration of the skin, leathery skin, the viscera are disappeared, maybe eaten away by the animals, or a pultaceous mass, black condensed pultaceous mass may be seen in the abdomen. Is a beautiful picture of mummification. Even after months, the features of the body is well maintained. That is the medical legal importance of mummification. We can even identify the person even after months. The skin become leathery. Then some of the features of the face are preserved. Mummification. It is a saponification. It is a whitish soap formation over the face. Saponification. It's the animal gnawing marks or claw marks.